On Thursday, March 14th, the Apostolic Nunciature in Israel received civil and religious authorities to celebrate the 6th anniversary of the pontificate of Pope Francis. On March the 19th, the feast of St. Joseph was celebrated all over the world, but here in Nazareth, where this righteous man lived, the feast saw a different atmosphere. The Franciscans of the custody of the Holy Land began the Lenten journey with the first stop at Dominus Flevit, a place which recalls the crying of Jesus over Jerusalem. On Wednesday the 13th of March, the Apostolic Nuncio to Jordan and Iraq, Monsignor Alberto Ortega Martin, inaugurated and blessed a mosaic of the Iraqi Madonna in the Basilica of the Annunciation. The Archbishop of Prague, together with the Episcopal Conference of the Czech Republic, on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. The solemn entrance into the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre is the culmination of their pilgrimage. On Thursday, March 14th, the Apostolic Nunciature in Israel received civil and religious authorities to celebrate the 6th anniversary of the pontificate of Pope Francis. The following took part in the meeting. On behalf of the government and the State of Israel, the Minister for Regional Cooperation, Tzachi Hanigbi, ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, ordinaries and faithful, both Catholic and of other Christian communities, as well as of other religions. The guests were received in the hall of the parish of St. Anthony in Jaffa by the Apostolic Nuncio, Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, by the Secretary of the Nunciature, Monsignor Marco Formica, and by the members of the Nunciature.
For inviting me to this beautiful event.
I would like to thank His Excellency Leopoldo Girelli for inviting me to participate in this important event. The minister pointed out the importance of diplomatic relations between the Holy See and the State of Israel. Our relations are not based only on diplomatic and political ties, but on deep historical and spiritual ones. Israel congratulates His Holiness Pope Francis, who is a wonderful friend of Israel and the Jews. We have gladly noticed your statement about the incompatibility of anti-Semitism with the Christian faith. The minister also quoted His Holiness's brave decision to open the Vatican archives of the Holocaust period, stating that the Church has nothing to fear from history. Monsignor Girelli in his speech highlighted some words of the message of the World Day of Peace 2019, according to which Pope Francis says that every election and re-election and every stage of public life is an opportunity to return to the source and references that inspire justice and law. He recalled the importance of the embrace between Pope Francis and the great Imam of Al-Azhar for the coexistence of different religions. He also recalled that this year marks the 25th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Israel and the Holy See. In 1994, following the signing of the Fundamental Agreement on the 30th of December 1993, two diplomatic missions were established: the Apostolic Nunciature in Jaffa, Tel Aviv, and the Israeli Embassy in the Vatican. Since then, many common activities made the relationship deeper and deeper, including the exchange of visits by the Supreme Pontiffs in Israel and the Presidents of Israel in the Vatican. The Apostolic Nuncio also pointed out that among the millions of visitors who each year come to Israel, there are many Christian pilgrims, at least 60%. In thanking the Israeli authorities for the safe conditions under which pilgrims can freely visit the places of Jesus, he asked them to consider the benefits that these pilgrimages bring to the country. Bishop Girelli also urged the civil authority to increasingly acknowledge the special contribution that the Catholic Church offers to Israeli society. For Rabbi David Rosen, it is a matter of honor and gratitude to have met such special men. They all helped with their collaboration in the relationship between Catholics and Jews. I am grateful to God for this great opportunity to have met these popes. John Paul II was the great master of concrete gestures and of the strength of the message he wanted to convey. Benedict XVI continued this mission. And now it is Pope Francis's turn. who knows the Jewish people well through the contact he had with the Jewish community of Buenos Aires. We believe that in this new era of rediscovered Jewish Catholic fraternity, we have become more and more a blessing to each other, and that the visits of the three popes have been further confirmation of this. These were the words of Minister Tzachi Hanegbi. On March the 19th, the feast of St. Joseph was celebrated all over the world. But here in Nazareth, where this righteous man lived, the feast saw a different atmosphere.
San Giuseppe, come diceva San Paolo VI,
The house of St. Joseph, as St. Paul VI used to say, is a school. Nazareth itself is a school, and in this school St. Joseph teaches labor, the dignity of labor. It is what the Son of God, the incarnate Word, teaches. As Gaudium et Spes number 22 says, here he thought with a human mind, he worked with human hands.
Quindi San Giuseppe insegna al Figlio di Dio la dignità del lavoro.
Here we have some devotees of St. Joseph from all over the world.
Saint Joseph don't speak a word on whole Holy Babel, so it's very important to me to visit him today, because he is a silent witness of all things what's happening after.
Para mim estar ali embaixo agora na casa de São José.
It is a model for my life, also for a future marriage, for a future family. Above all, knowing how to live an everyday life with this simplicity and essentiality, which makes it possible for the family to deal with the most common things. At the same time, it makes ordinary things extraordinary. For me, St. Joseph is a role model, Mary's husband, perfect, chaste, but at the same time a fighting man who struggles, who leaves this feminine space of Mary for our lives.
Deixa esse espaço feminino de Maria para nossa vida.
At sunset, there is the highlight of the day, with the solemn entrance of the vicar of the custody of the Holy Land, Brother Dobromir Yatsal, into the Basilica of the Annunciation. The solemn entrance was followed by the Eucharist celebration in front of the grotto where the Word of God became flesh. In the introduction to the Mass, the Franciscan said that the Gospel does not say anything about St. Joseph, but merely cites his name. The language of Jesus' putative father was silence, the listening of angelic voices in his dreams and his work. Nevertheless, after the Mother of God, St. Joseph is the first to be named and honored. A saint who understood the meaning of his existence, who obeyed and had faith in the Lord. The homily was conducted by the Latin parish priest of Nazareth, Brother Amjad Sabara. The priest drew attention to the fact that Joseph was the man of silence. Today, faced with the complications of life, he teaches us to understand our history, seeking the Lord. The day ended with a blessing in the crypt of the Church of St. Joseph, the Church of Nutrition, built where it is believed that the house of St. Joseph was, where he welcomed Mary after the angel's message, and where, therefore, Jesus grew up. Let us immerse ourselves in the mystery of God and walk with him to the end. Ramses Sidawi began his homily with these words in the shrine of Dominus Flevit on the Mount of Olives, opening the Lenten pilgrimage path to the holy places, which recall the stages of the Lord's Passion. God is present in our lives, and he always invites us to walk with him to reach the gift of a complete life. And he leaves us free, so he gives us the possibility of choice, and we often choose not to walk with him, but to walk with ourselves on our own. He then observes with sorrow that we are going on our own, but he keeps the door open, the road clear, so that we can return to him. He sends us signals, he sends us invitations, and these are precisely the signs of the times that he keeps sending in our lives, to invite us to go back and walk with him. Translated from the Latin, "the Lord wept," the Franciscan shrine is one of the most recent churches in Jerusalem. Built in 1955 by the architect Antonio Barluzzi, it has the shape of a tear to remember the tears that Jesus cried after announcing the destruction of Jerusalem. From here you can enjoy one of the most beautiful views of the city, the same one that enchanted the eyes of Jesus. The first of a series of encounters promoted by the Franciscans of the Custody of the Holy Land, which take place during the weeks of Lent, to arrive with Jesus at the true meaning of life and peace.
In questo luogo noi
In this place, we stand in front of the holy city. Jesus stopped here to cry over the city. From this place, we are also invited to immerse ourselves in the Holy Week and in all that the Holy Week represents: the Passion of God, the Passion of Jesus, up to the resurrection.
alla risurrezione.
The Basilica of the Annunciation in Nazareth displays several images of the Virgin Mary around its courtyard. They express the devotion and affection of various peoples and cultures for the Mother of Jesus. On March the 13th, a new mosaic of Our Lady of Iraq was blessed by Monsignor Alberto Ortega, Apostolic Nuncio to Jordan and Iraq.
È molto bello benedire questa Madonna dell'Iraq.
It is wonderful to bless this Virgin of Iraq so that she may be present here in the Holy Land in Nazareth. A Madonna from Iraq, a country that is very close and also part of the Holy Land where it all began. It is an opportunity to put under the protection of the Virgin Mary all the Iraqi Christians who have experienced difficult times, but who, thanks be to God, are passing a great test. We are asking for peace in this country for the whole Iraqi people.
Popolazione per la pace di questo paese.
The ceremony took place at the end of the meeting of the Assembly of the Ordinaries of the Holy Land. In addition to them, a special and moving presence was that of a group of Iraqi pilgrims who emigrated to the Netherlands. Today I felt a great joy because we participated in this blessing. It was a coincidence because we were passing through. There are not as many things that give meaning to our lives as our great Mother, the Virgin Mary. Queen of Peace is one of the titles used to invoke the Virgin Mary by many pilgrims. Now, with the new mosaic, they will have an additional presence to ask for her intercession.
Da qui, da Nazareth, dal luogo dove
From here, Nazareth, the place where the Son of God became flesh, we ask Mary to lay down her maternal mantle, she who is the mother of the Son of God, but also the mother of the Church. We ask her to lay down her mantle on the Christians of Iraq.
stende il suo manto materno sui cristiani dell'Iraq.
A unique, tangible and indelible experience is the visit to the places in the land of the saint. Pilgrimage means setting out together with our neighbour and making the physical journey into a journey of the soul. The members of the Episcopal Conference of the Czech Republic visited the Holy Land with Cardinal Duka. The Cardinal's strong bond with the land of the Fifth Gospel was marked by visits and the important solemn entrance into the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre, a simple but meaningful ceremony which takes place in special cases.
Perché per noi questa visita della Santa Terra era.
We are on this visit to this Holy Land to do the spiritual exercises with the Episcopal Conference as a signal, a symbol, because it is necessary for us to renew the religious life and the life of the Church in our country.
È per noi necessità di nuovo riflettere la vita religiosa e anche la vita della Chiesa nel nostro paese.
Come pellegrini per questo misterio della morte.
We are like pilgrims because the mystery of Christ's death and resurrection is very central. We are very happy to be here, to live and proclaim the center of our faith for our faithful and for the Catholic world.
Centro della nostra fede per i nostri fedeli, ma per tutto il mondo cattolico.
The procession with the Franciscans accompanied the Cardinal to the Edicola, which hosts the empty tomb of Christ. Welcome to the place that saw the manifestation of the greatest love, These were the welcoming words spoken by the custars of the Holy Land, Brother Francesco Patton, to the place that is venerated for having welcomed the body of the Lord for some time, to the place that saw his resurrection as the foundation of our hope. Monsignor Pizzaballa, Apostolic Administrator of the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, in his greeting, stressed the importance of the presence of the Archbishop of Prague. His prayers and his renewed act of faith help us to look upwards, to look together, to look at each other with kindness, so as to always look beyond the horizon. We are pilgrims who say that it is very important to support peace in this land and also in the whole world. We invite everyone to come here and pray for peace, especially in this land.
Gerusalemme non è solamente un luogo dove Cristo è morto.
Jerusalem is not only the place where Christ died on the cross for us, but it is a truly great joy and hope for all men and women, because it is the place where Christ rose again.
Uomini e anche donne, perché è Cristo risurresso.
أنا بشارة مرزوقة، عمري 12 سنة وهاد بيتي. هادي مدرستي. هاد أبونا مروان مديري. هدول ولاد صفي.
My best friend England. Jack in the bathroom. He's having a shower right on board.
هذا أبونا رامي خوري رعيتي.
هذه هي طلباتي، هذه منياتي،
هاي كنيستي.
يا إلهي.
بيت رحم مدينتي.
كلما